I am excited because it's grand finals, and this is, of course, a battle not only for that FNCS Axe of Champions, but a seat on the battle bus to the Global Championships as well. There's so much going on here, a lot on the line, and top 3 is all that matters. Pollo has been leading the charge right here alongside Peterbot, and you have to give them all of their credit as they've been, you know, landing at the Grim Gate, arguably the strongest POI on the map. And, you know, they have some interesting players in their vicinity, but, you know, this is just, they haven't been able to give them enough resistance for them to even think about, right, having an issue at any game, at any point in the tournament, right? So I don't know what went differently during the semifinal stages, but whatever they managed to figure out up from then till now is just incredible.
It's really just the fact that Jutras and Craze are not giving them any resistance. They're not challenging them. They might be contesting, but it's not technically contesting if you're just going to the fringes of Grim Gate. They're playing for the god chest that lies on the outskirts of Grim Gate. Here at Fencing Fields, though, Krizix and Yasir looking to shut down the hopes of Acorn and Cold. Tough opener here for Acorn and Cold. They've been having a tough day in general to start things off with, but that's just part of the process for the QuadCon that's involved at Fencing Fields.
Well, it's not just Acorn and Cold having a hard time. It's Zeus and Pikes running the field as well with Booga and Aegir. So a lot of our notable greats losing to the hands of some of the fresh blood that have, you know, effectively entered into the FNCS by storm this season. Talking about some of our vets. We have Pump and N-Pen right now, sitting comfortably outside the underworld, but they have to be careful. There's a team here at the drop.
Could be one of 3 different teams potentially looking to challenge them at Underworld. Jiro and Z-Link, Batman Booga, Rapid, Zavi, and Neko. They're the 3 teams that land a little bit further west of where the Underworld is currently situated. So that's primarily who N-Pen and Pomp have been trying to take note of at the start for some early surge. Mixon and Paco, opposite side of the map though, still at Lovely Lodge. A little bit split currently, but they have the safety to do so because they know completely uncontested. Unlike how things went for them throughout the course of semis, they don't have to deal with anyone else directly nearby. And they've definitely done a great job too at adjusting their surge strategy for it, because we've seen them in numerous endgames so far today. Whereas in semis, we saw them definitely struggling in a lot of lobbies because of the fact that they were uncontested and they'd been relying a little bit on that direct contest that they were dealing with initially. So it's nice to see that flexibility in their game plan.
Yeah, something has definitely changed from the semifinals weeks to now for Paco and Mixon, as you still have to be all around impressed, right? We were kind of joking at the fact of like, oh man, if you come from EU, play on NA, and then don't perform well, like, you know, what is EU gonna say about you, right? But no, Paco and Mixon have been up inside that top 10, and then if it wasn't for last game, them actually falling when they had that high ground position, they would very well still be in the top 3 right now. And same for Curve and Tyler. Curve and Tyler, one of those newer FNCS duos, really putting up some numbers. But last game was the first game that slowed them down as well. So a lot to be said here about teams performing well, coming in with what I'd say is surprise performances, right?
Surprises all around, it seems, not even just performances alone. Decay and Sigma could be a real problem currently for Poppy and Dragon. Not sure if they recognize the fact, though, that Dragon is just east of where they're currently at. Dragon just fishing away, but he doesn't have a line of sight on them. Decay and Sigma doing such a good job at crouching around. Poor Dragon, man, he is just trying to fish. He has no idea. Fishing rod still in hand. Poppy Blast just too far away to try and help his duo out immediately. So Decay, Sigma, they're gonna split off momentarily. Decay's gonna look to challenge Poppy Blast, but Dragon, he's already been eliminated. Sigma and Decay just had too much of an advantage getting those initial shots off first. And Poppy dancing around this rock currently. He'd been material farming, but how much of those resources was he actually able to acquire for builds? Decay only has 17 to work with, dwindling rather quickly, but Unminished and Cam, Dukes and Miro now joining the fray.
I was gonna say, man, the lack of respect Decay had for Poppy Blast right there was just palpable. The dude said, I hit you for 24, I'm W-keying you. Like, that was crazy. Even willing to entertain the 1v1 right there. You have to respect it. But meanwhile, Dukes comes in and just gets punished for his troubles here. It does seem like Decay is just feeling it right now. He puts up a great defense here down in the low ground, but on up to the top. They want to start getting comfortable here. But no, Sigma caught out, so a little too overconfident here is going to cost them up against the likes of Dukes and Miro there. And Decay is going to have to eat his decisions now in the lobby there as Dukes and Miro get rewarded with the 2 eliminations here.
From hunters to fully hunted, Miro and Dukes wasted no time gobbling up Decay and Sigma. Those two, unfortunately, had a good strategy for eliminating Poppy Blast and Dragon, but really nothing left to do. Once the third-party interference came into play, B-Dog and Victor could meet a similar fate if they're not careful. Currently, it's just Cam and Unminished on the other side of their walls, but this is a tough spot for both of these teams to try and fight out of. Miro and Dukes could potentially just have a really strong line of sight to take out both of these teams if they're not careful.
Yeah, this does seem to be a winning strategy for them right now. Timing this outskirts rotate here. Finishing Flu though. Flu Cam here dropping back into the storm. Little do they know this is a very wise decision here, as they would have been in a collision course with Miro and Dukes there. Their backs turned likely. So we jump in with Edgy, who's got no more than, couldn't be more than 10 HP here. Chance and Aaron really determining the pace of this battle right now, pushing down the likes of Edgy and Tavern here, trying to demand the respect in this toe-to-toe, and they do just that. Chance gets punished big time here. Things slow down for Aaron and Chance now, so this is a fight that can go on for as long as they want it to. There's not a soul in sight on the outskirts right here, so a very isolated 2v2. This is why, you know, you jump into creative and you practice. It's moments like this where it is just you and your duo partner, your performance, no excuses here.
Yeah, this far southwest over by Sandy Strip, Aaron at least had the shield potions to depend on from Chance, but now it'll have to be him dipping into the Flowberry Fizz if he wants to recover some of his shields. Tavern and Edgy doing a decent job, despite how low they're running on material count, at fending off Chance and Aaron, but this is the split. Aaron thinks he might have an opportunity to try and attack Edgy, but instead it's gonna be Tavern. No, one more time, 180 in the spot. Chance, Aaron, they knew the shields were cracked. They fully collapsed, W-key entirely. Now it's down to Edgy and his last little bit of HP to try and close this one out, but just not enough builds or anything to work with at this point. So Aaron and Chance will be the victors of this fight.
Commendable to say the least, but look at Clix and Epic Whale continuing to rack up their set of eliminations right now. This is to the north of their drop spot. It's gonna happen every time, we already know it. And now the fight for the bunker here as well. A single Elim up at the moment. You have Vert and Yuumi here, just on the opposite sides of the wall. This is where, of course, Clix literally wants you. Box fight. No pressure from the Storm this time. The difference though, big 90 tag there for Clix to set things up here. Now, feeling the confidence to start pushing in. The edits are good, the wall takes are better. But he needs the tag.
All Clix wants to do at this point is push Yuumi at least one box further back. He doesn't want to allow Yuumi the opportunity to go into the bunker first. Even if it could be a little bit of a trap, you could still make use of all the resources inside of this bunker. So Clix's play, the aggression, definitely paying off at the time being. Yuumi's shields just having steadily been whittled away at. One more shot would be the shield crack they need. And if Clix gets that sound cue, likely only be a matter of time before Epic and Clix both try to capitalize and pounce. Yuumi, though, still doing his best to try and fend for himself. He's got Vert a little bit towards his west, but again, Vert and Yumi not able to keep this fight going in their favor. So Clix and Epic, they're gonna be the first ones to jump into the bunker, and this is exactly what they wanted. All that they were waiting for. As soon as Yumi forfeited that initial positional stance on top of the bunker opening, Clix and Epic kind of recognized the fact that, yeah, we've got this one.
Yeah, they just seized the moment. They were like, all right, well, we push you back further enough. We're here for the bunker, right? The damage is bonus. And you saw how much Matt's actually, you know, kind of falls out of those mythical chests as well. Just setting them back up, giving them everything they need here to remain in the game. Meanwhile, we have a... I don't know if this is a standoff or what's going on here, but Zyro and crew are sitting up above, and Aiden and Hound here are just chilling out, trying to see what's going to happen. And yeah, they're just waiting.
Both of these teams definitely aware that the other is nearby, though. Z-Link not exactly trying to conceal his footsteps by any means, so Aiden and Hound, if they want to escape the bunker, they're definitely going to have to probably fight their way out of it, but this is likely a more advantageous position for Aiden and Hound currently, considering that they were the team to get inside the bunker. They've got the weapon mod bench attachments that they like the most to currently work with, and I'd say that always weighs in one team's favor whenever they get to utilize that mod bench.
Storm's gonna start closing here now. Skittles and Trashy just barely pulled the zone. I'm not sure they're gonna be looking to stick around here for much longer. Dash and Seek feeling the same pressures as well. And they're all off to the races here as the rotates start to kick in now. This is game 5 of 12 over the weekend. After this one, there's one more round. Then we'll start gearing up for tomorrow's 1.5x tournament points. So there's a multiplier associated with tomorrow's competition. So even if you find yourselves pretty far behind, do not count teams out, because tomorrow's 1.5x will effectively give everyone a chance to make a comeback in the tournament. It's a very interesting comeback mechanic as far as the tournament format is concerned.
Oh,
leading
no.
into the championships, but yeah, Taka, I mean, you see the pressure. It's not looking too hot.
It's definitely not looking good currently for Aminished and Cam, but fortunately enough for them, Junior and Azent's Brazilian duo recognize the fact we've actually just got to get into the next zone. Otherwise, we're going to be in the exact same position that Aminished and Cam are currently in. At least they've got builds, MDF, that is one benefit, but on the topic of the points multiplier, when you're watching what Peterbot and Poyo have accomplished here today, scoping in on their current position, you know that you're basically playing for second or third place at best here in day 1. Even with the point multiplier coming into effect, Peterbot and Poyo just have to do the bare minimum, essentially, to maintain this first place position on the leaderboard because of the points that they have accrued here so far in just 4 lobbies. And with that in mind, it's got to be mentally impactful and not in a positive manner for a lot of these teams here, because you're essentially only playing for 2 positions if you want to try and qual to the World Championship in Texas later this year. And that is a tough spot to be in when there's only 2 spots up for grabs, essentially.
That is definitely right. It's not going to be easy for anyone. Nothing good ever comes easy, as they say. So we jump in with Aiden and Hound, who have to fight their way out of this difficult spot here, and the numbers are just adding up right now. And then, if it wasn't already hard enough, you have Clix and Epic Whale sitting nearby, likely waiting for something to break out here. This is all happening right outside that bunker. So Hound and Aiden, who were in the basement, remember, Zyro was holding them out up above. Does seem like Clix and Epic Whale broke up that, and this is what it's all kind of culminated into, a battle for the edge here below the surge. All that time wasted and no shots exchanging. You can see it really does start to take effect on your overall damage in a game like this. But
for Clix and Epic, it's likely they need surge as well. Hound and Aiden trying to confirm just a little bit more. Only 39 above currently. Just getting ever steadily closer to where Zyro is currently situated. He's dancing around in the build as much as possible. Hound has actually expended just about all of his materials at this point. One final Chug Splash to utilize as well, but one more time, he's gonna have to deal with the likes of taking out this player. Instead, Aiden will manage to get the job done. Couldn't have come at a better time either, because that Storm Surge was just about to come into effect there for Hound and Aiden.
That's big too. Look, that's gonna keep them in 9th place now, but look at this. You're wondering if Pewterbot and Boyo were gonna continue the onslaught here and get that damage. Well, fear no more. They have landed on top of Cam Slam. A quick drop kick from high ground right there. And now we jump in with Khanada and Cooper, one of the contenders for the top 3 here. Well below the surge damage. The pressure was coming in here. And although they survived the threshold for now, it is going to turn immediately back on, and they recognize that it's not going to be easy by any means. A beautiful tag there, followed up by damage received, though. I mean, this is not easy.
Definitely not, and this is a critical moment as well for Khanada and Cooper, because as far as 2nd through 5th is concerned, things are incredibly tight on that leaderboard position. They just barely had 9 points over 3rd place, and they want to ensure that they stay within that top 3 of the leaderboards for more than just the prize pool, NDF. Again, it's that ticket to the globals that they're looking to lock down here in Major 2. Khanada and Cooper done a decent job so far at escaping the likes of Grimgate. They know that they still got some pressure application coming from tons of players who are also situated here on the edge of zone, but finally an opportunity to turn back, look to their sides, see if they can connect some shots. They spot a team inside of a wooden build. They're gonna immediately jump inside. Khanada, Cooper, they need the damage, but Khanada, he's gotta use a couple of small shield potions. The Storm Surge is causing so much of a threat, so much of a problem. It's a thorn in the side now for Khanada and Cooper. They need damage, but they've got nowhere to find it currently.
Yeah, and shots coming in from behind is actually Pewterbot and Boyo in the distance there, but all of a sudden, Xavi, found in a base in a box, just gets demolished there for making the wrong edit up against Khanada and Cooper here, and that's going to be really and honestly the opportunity they needed here to at least situate themselves and get back in the game. Could you imagine falling now after pulling dead center zone this late into the end game here? I mean, it'd be a devastating setback considering they're one of the only teams who can really give Boyo and his duo a run for their money. Speaking of which, Aiden and Hound inside the top 10 as well. They have been struggling. We watched what all unfolded with them with that bunker hold, and it's led to them, again, pulling favorably for the Storm, which is giving them a chance, but it's damage that they're lacking. They wasted so much time on the back skirts there.
It just seems as though the entire lobby is playing so slow currently. Teams that they haven't necessarily been, you know, living lavish as far as their Storm Surge is concerned, but they're definitely still maintaining a decent amount above that surge threshold. But now everybody just playing so closed off, so tightly built inside of their own boxes. No one really wanting to take chances to peek. Everybody looking to just try and have a solid close to day 1 here of the Grand Finals, MDF. And I kind of can't blame them because, again, you want to stay as close as possible to that top 3 range in the leaderboard. And especially when you're a team like Hound and Aiden, you already called it earlier on, they were in 9th heading into this 5th lobby. They don't want to drop outside of the top 10 before the point multiplier comes into effect. But right now, they've got to be more concerned about their health because they're still 21 below. They need more damage, and it's not going to be easy to find.
Yeah, well, they got one duo in front of them and one duo only, so they need to start firing now, or they are going to run out of time like we just mentioned. They found a tag, and it puts them into the safety zone, but even after what honestly was a very genius decision to drop into the Storm and play that indestructible wall, it's not going to be easy. But Tyler, from one bad game into another, he is in desperate situation and territory as well here. 158 points, hasn't earned anything this game. No elims, no placement points just yet. And honestly, placement points is quite the stretch away. He is holding on by a thread, as is Reet, as is Ritual right now, as they're only 3 below, the only team on the line there. And finally now, things turn off, but this is just going to be a false flag, right? Just for a moment as they have to keep going here now.
And this is not the amount of builds you'd want to see for a team like Reet and Ritual if they want to maintain their current position on the leaderboard. They're trying to get that material farm back up and running, but Pollo, this is an odd sight. Peterbot having been eliminated moments ago, and now for Pollo with only 20 builds left. Granted, they have a very distinct point leverage over the rest of NA here currently, MDF, but an early fall, that could still be incredibly problematic for this duo. It could be the catch-up circumstance that teams in second and third have been waiting for.
Well, it'd be hard to think otherwise, but we've seen Peterbot also turn one of these very bad situations in game one into a top 3, so I wouldn't put it past Pollo, who we know is an exceptional player. But things are looking a little bit different, I would say, than game one Peterbot's position that he was in, as Pollo only has 10 builds here, although he's in the end game, and although he likely has his medallion still as well for the rotate, so only time will tell. We talked about teams looking a little bit worse for Wares. Reet and Ritual now finished here, falling to Thatch and Walkers there. So finally now in game 5, a lot of the big dogs are falling here. We will start seeing the leaderboards look to shake up here. Khanada and Cooper have a chance now to also break away with a pretty substantial point lead. But it won't be easy.
They just need heals so badly, more specifically shields. I mean, whites wouldn't be bad either, but this is tough, even for Khanada and Cooper. The Wings of Icarus could also be their demise if they're not careful. Just one small misstep could be all it takes. Pollo trying to see if he can underworld dash away. This could be the refresh that he's been looking for. Hound might just deliver Pollo the lifeline he needs, but with 0 builds, Hound just doing what he can to try and hang tight.
They never see it coming. They never see it coming. Pollo with the dash into the box. This is what makes the medallion such a sleeper play right there.
Hound had no options left. He was trying to sit tight behind that cone, but the underworld dash is just proving to be such a nuisance in terms of staying strong in your position. But Pollo again, even though it was a brief moment of relief, at the same time on that next rotate, he still caught wind of other attraction in the lobby. So he's one more time down to his final builds. Cooper and Khanada, similar fate. Cooper now with no shields. If anybody tags him, they're gonna recognize that white HP that they're breaking into and likely be tempted to try and key him from his current position.
It's a great opportunity right now to pick up eliminations, though. There's a lot of weak players nearby them, and desperate ones as well, though. They do have to be careful, but Cooper's tags are looking very solid. Out comes the Wings for the rotate there. Has to bust his way through his own teammates' builds right now. And what is this? A little find right here. Some heals. Yeah, we'll take those. Also a little bit of material count as well, so the split comes through, and here goes Pollo. The big rotates, getting to the front side of zone, and like we said, from outside of the 20th position into top 15 now, Pollo is doing exactly what he needs to do as a teammate. Is clutch up those individual points, really proving his worth right here. Meanwhile, on high ground, Reciprocal and G-Monster get chopped out there. All that material count invested gives them the opportunity to start at least expending some of it here in this end game. We'll see if they overdid it. That was a lot to maintain position, but the action raging on here as we're approaching top 10 now.
Khanada still has a little bit of Flowberry Fizz. Big pickup, though, onto Zeus. A beautiful elimination that couldn't have come at a better time because Khanada, practically out of builds entirely, has a singular one left. Gonna try and farm some meds off of this tree, but he's gonna depend mostly on Cooper grabbing the siphon materials from behind. Pollo with one more knock. It's gonna be Muzz.
Oh my gosh.
Barrel. It's gonna be Paper, who falls right next to him. 4 eliminations, and a top 10 clutch could not have been a better end here for Pollo.
And this is why you really have to put so much respect on Pollo and Peterbot as a duo. They are both exceptional players, and they are proving just that. But hold up, Bak has to clutch up now. 10 HP and a player down. Can Pars drop everything in time? He does. He has a couple med kits. He's got all the material he needs. He should be able to do some big plays here. And I'm looking at what is left standing inside the lobby. There's a lot of solos in this mix here, but duos as well. Cooper and Khanada being one of the few in the low ground, but no mats. Hello, Epic Whale. What do you have for us? Doesn't look like it's much here. And it could just be the Team on Heights game to run away with it. As we already saw, G-Monster and Reciprocal are just so far ahead, and no one can break through these builds, right? This is all indestructible land here coming up shortly.
Everyone else just so beat as far as their build situation is concerned. Reciprocal and G-Monster have likely done just enough. This is a very strong position that they're currently holding. The way the zone is pulling over the bridge so heavily in their favor. Baka just going for heal off, mostly for placement, but no luck. Gonna find himself forced to now head back into the zone. Cooper and Khanada trying to do what they can to hold on, but Cooper as well, no builds left. Siphon Matt's gonna buy him just a little bit more time. G-Monster's gonna be the first one to drop. This could be Cooper and Khanada, another clutch circumstance for them. If G-Monster's not careful, G-Money gets none. Reciprocal goes for the next. It's all down to Cooper. He's trying to close it out.
Oh my gosh!
Finds it!
Cooper does it again. Khanada did it the first time. And they do it with a second victory royale. This team is really starting to find their footing, and it is so entertaining to watch. How in the world did Cooper manage to do that? This is again, that unpredictability when you start adding in these underworld dashes. It couldn't have ended in a better place for them. And honestly, Khanada and Cooper might be separating themselves as one of the strongest low ground teams in the season right now. What a game.
That was the worst case scenario, though, for Peterbot and Pollo to witness. Cooper and Khanada now tying the record for day one victory royales. They've got 2 underneath their belt currently, MDF, and this is a big win with a big elimination count to keep the distance just close enough on that leaderboard top 3.
I'm just looking at Cooper right here. Khanada did what he had to. Cooper with 1 HP and a dream. It's a monstrous tag for the Game 5 Victory Royale. Congratulations to Khanada and Cooper for their second Victory Royale. Back to back here, just continuing to run with it here. And it looks like NA is really shaping up, Taco.
No, what we saw from Cooper and Khanada at the start of that game to winning it, that was ridiculous. But I'm sure Zeke, Vivid, and Killy have more to say about that.